In this video, I'll work through question 7 from this past paper. Let us move on to part A. So here in part A, you're required to show that 1 plus sine x tan x equals 5 cos x can be expressed as the equation given here. Let us write the equation. So our goal is to reduce this equation to 6 cos squared x minus cos x minus 1 equals 0. We know that tan x is equal to sine x over cos x. So let's write that. Tan is equal to sine x over cos x. Therefore, we can write 1 plus sine x times sine x over cos x, and that equals to 5 cos x. Let us subtract 1 both sides. So we have 5 cos x minus 1 on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we can multiply sine x by sine x, so we get sine squared x. And also we can multiply both sides by cos x. Therefore we have cos x on the right hand side here. And this can be reduced to give us 5 cos squared x minus cos x. And that is equal to sine squared x. But we know that sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cos squared x. So we can write sine squared x equals to 1 minus cos squared x. Therefore, we can have 1 minus cos squared x, 5 cos squared x minus cos x. And we can add cos squared x both sides, so we get 6 cos squared x, and also we can subtract 1 both sides as well, so we would have 6 cos squared x minus cos x, and we can subtract 1 both sides, so we have that. So we have reduced the equation to the form. Okay, so let us move on to part B now. So in part B, you are required to solve the equation 1 plus sine x tan x equals 5 cos x in the range x is less than or equal to 180 and greater than or equal to 0. But we know that this equation was reduced to 6 cos squared x minus cos x minus 1 equals 0. Therefore, we can solve this equation and find the value of x in the range given. Here, we can see that this can be expressed as a quadratic equation, and we can factorize it. So let y equals cos x. Therefore, we have 6y squared minus y minus 1 equals 0. And we can factorize and solve this equation. So we get it means that 2y minus 1 equals 0, or 3y plus 1 equals 0. Therefore, y from here is equal to a half, and from here y equals to minus 1 over 3. But we know that y is equal to cos x. Therefore, cos x equals to a half, or cos x here would equal to minus 1 over 3. Since cosine is positive here, we can use the quadrant rule to determine our values of x, possible values of x. So let us draw our quadrant diagram here and examine what we could get for x. Since cosine is positive, we know that from the quadrant rule, all the ratios are positive in this range. We know that sine is positive in this range in the second quadrant, and here tan is positive, and in this quadrant, the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive. So it means that we can state the possible value of x or values of x. So since cosine is positive, we need to draw an acute angle relative to the horizontal axis, and also an acute angle here, so we can mark the possible values of x. Here, this would be a possible value of x, and also from, we can label this as 0, and that's going to be 90, that's 90, and that's 180, that's 270. Since the range is between 0 and 180, if we carry on around here for this angle, that would not be a possible, it would be out of range, so the only possible value of x is going to be this angle. So let us use our scientific calculator and find the value of x here. So we have x then is equal to cos inverse a half. So it means that x is 60 degrees. You should know that, okay? So it means that this acute angle is 60 degrees. So that's one sure answer, okay? Let's move on to this one over here. When cosine is negative, we're going to draw our quadrant diagram and determine the possible value or values of x. So here we have 0, 90 degrees, 180, and 270. Again, we know that all are positive here. So cosine is negative then in this quadrant and this quadrant. So we're going to draw an acute angle here and an acute angle here. Right. Okay, so this angle and this angle are the same. Okay, so the possible value of x that we really want then it has to be from 0 to here. Since our range is between 0 and 180, but there is also another solution for x, which I'm going to mark here, right around to this angle here. But since our range is between 0 and 180, it has to be this value here. Okay, so what we're going to do then is to do the inverse. So x then is equal to cosine inverse of minus a third, and that gives us 109.45. So it means that this angle is 109. Let's round it to 1 decimal place, 5 degrees. So the possible angle in the range between 0 and 180 then would be 60 degrees and 109.5. So it means that x equals to 60 degrees and also 109.5 degrees. But it's important to know that there are other values of x. There's a value here for x which you were not asked to work out, and also this one as well. So what I would like you to do is to figure out what value of x you think this would be, and also what value of x you think this would be. Thank you very much.